Meeting.
Hey, hey, what's going on? We are now live and we are about to start After the Greatness for the first official day of Dare to Be Great 4. But first, we're going to start with a quick countdown here and then we will jump right into it.
Am I supposed to say anything?
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is that when I did the countdown, what's up, man? when
I'm
I when I
Odyssey.
Okay, that's good.
when I was doing the countdown, your voice came through, and I'm not sure why that happened because it's supposed to mute both microphones. So when you said, "Am I supposed to say something?" I was like, "Why did I hear you? I was not supposed to hear you."
Um,
Dude, internet issues, craziness. Oh, either way, it has been an excellent day. So, for all of you who are joining me here today, my guest today here for After the Greatness for the first official day of Dare to Be Great 4, Era of the Headset, is Sarah Weston. What is going on?
Yeah.
Executive Director and founder of 911 Wonder Women Inc. And Vince, what up, dude?
and we're part of my presentation today.
Yay.
In many
That's right.
in many ways.
That's true. That's very true. No shame in my mom game. But let's start out because this is what we do here. So, for After the Greatness, what we end up doing is we recap the day, and we're not going to keep all of you here for too long. Um, but the first session, the opening session today was you, Sarah. You did advocating for 911 starts with you, which was awesome. It was excellent.
Thank you. So I did it, so I don't have a lot to say about it except what I already said. However, I will tell Bye, Vince. Okay. I will tell you, I was planning to do a totally different session.
Mhm.
And then I saw Ella England's session the day yesterday, and it really inspired me to talk about different things. So originally, it was kind of the same idea, talking about how it's up to us to advocate for ourselves first and bring others along. But when Ella was talking about how hard it is just to make, those little changes, it just reminded me of the struggle. We all face a struggle every day. Mine recently has been with my vertigo, and just finding myself, when you get sick and you're kind of reduced down to like basic survival mode, like
Right. Yeah.
water, like walk in a straight line, like speak coherently. um you get reminded of how hard certain things are. Why are we talking about making these huge changes if I can't even, get myself up and go for a walk and do something, simple that I know is good for myself. I know it's good for myself and I can't do it. And then the whole thought of, a movement and making change and elevating 911 is kind of like way up here if I'm worried about being able to drive my kids to preschool. So it kind of took me back to how hard things really, really are. And I just wanted to point out how far we've come. One, taking those small steps, and then also what's available out there. And I haven't done research, and I don't know like all the things that are available right now, especially for 911. I know it's not a lot in comparison to like police and fire and EMS, but there are things out there. There are people trying to do these small things. And I just wanted to highlight some of the things that we do at 911 Wonder Women. I don't think I do that enough. I think I feel like I'm um self self advocating instead of not advocating.
Mhm.
But I in the grand scheme of things, it's a nonprofit, and most of these things are offered for free to 911. So spreading the word that that's available, I think, is helpful for those who are ready to receive that and take those steps.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent way to start out the day, and really kind of followed the theme going on from there as well. So it was an amazing job. And what's kind of funny though, before you ended up going live, like what was it, like an hour beforehand. So for those who are watching right now, Sarah and Julie helped me with with some of the other sessions because I can't be in every spot to be able to do it. So I thank you so very much.
Amateur.
Thanks a
Sorry.
lot. I'm gonna go cry now. Um, no, I really do appreciate it. But we had come online and stuff, and we were going through, and I was showing you how to do different things and stuff. And as we were finishing that up, I'm like, "All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Like, are you ready to do this?" And you were, all about it, and it really showed in the presentation, in the session, and the interaction in in the chat and everything as well. And this is stuff that people are just really pumped for. So thank you so much for just being open as always, and sharing you. And we're blessed to have you here, and part of everything that we do here in 911 as well. But going on the next session after that, the way you put it too in your session, it was kind of like a precursor, right, to what Julie had to talk about next. And holy shit. That was that was exactly what I said when she was done. Like, I'm watching, and I'm in awe of her message and just everything that she was saying, but especially there at the end
Oh,
in what she was saying, and how there are certain people that are still waiting for her, waiting for her to go back. So before we get into some of that stuff right there, so her session was called "Not Everyone in Your Circle is in Your Corner." And I just want to read the summary here really quick. So it says personal growth is great, but as we grow, set goals, and achieve more, we may end up growing away from the people we once held close. Now I'm going to read that part again. We may end up growing away from the people we once held close. And that's a big thing. I think a lot of us have dealt with that. It goes on to say people that we once could finish sentences for, we no longer see eye to eye with. Sometimes people who once wanted what's best for us no longer do. Sometimes they never really did in the first place. Not everyone in our circle truly wants what is best for us. What?
I know. And she, I don't mean to sound, I'm not saying this in a condescending way. She's so young. And when I say that, I mean the amount of life she lived isn't a lot, isn't the wisdom that she has is kind of beyond the number of years that she's lived. And I think when that happens, it's because we've been through some trauma that has forced us to mature in some way,
Mhm.
right? And she shared that with us. Like, I remember I kind of watched her go through that thing, right? We
Mhm.
both did because we were friends with her and had met some of these people, and it just watching her kind of go from like the broken state that happens to all of us when we get hurt by somebody or something, and then to this moment was just amazingly beautiful. And even if you don't know her, it was, you know what I mean? Like, even if you hadn't um,
Right.
seen her go through this, it was just awesome. And also, this topic, I don't think it gets talked about enough. And I
Mhm.
think everyone has been through this. And if everyone has been through this, then we're all kind of in um that same mindset of pain and being hurt. And I think we've all done that and have that done to us. I think it's I'm not trying to villainize people, but we all grow apart, we grow in different directions. And I love how she presented that in a way that she wasn't like throwing blame or shame on anyone. She was just saying this is life and this is what happens. And if
Right.
we look at it that way, it's a little less painful, right? It's like, okay, this is life and this is what's happening, and we can kind of heal.
Fully agree. Yeah, she is definitely advanced beyond her years. Like, just listening, I'm watching and listening, and, maybe a little emotional too with some of the stuff that she's saying, kind of thinking about, my own time, these past couple of years and having the same thing happen, a lot of us have had things like this happen. So it was very eye-opening, but yes, like you said, also I agree, she presented it in a way that it wasn't villainized or anything, it wasn't throwing anybody under the bus. It was just in the grand scheme of things, like, this is how things are, and it's okay. You can get past it. There are others that are actually there, and through certain situations, circumstances, whatever, you find out who that true tribe is. It's amazing.
So good. I marvel because I try to put myself in her shoes and imagine myself doing a session like that on that topic, having been so close to that heartbreak. And
Mhm.
I don't think I would have done it with that grace and maturity, to be honest with you. Oh, I'm 10 years older than her. So it was great. And Joyce, I love your comment, goals change, values change, and some people aren't meant to grow or go with you, and
Mhm.
that's life. And if we can look beyond ourselves and look at it that way, I think it would do a lot of people a lot of good.
Agreed. Now the session after that, as we were joking and kinda laughing here as your as your boy ran in, it definitely goes along with the next session. You had an amazing panel, for this session, and this was, No Shame in My Mom Game, and, man, a lot of the stuff that you were saying, I'm just all of you, I'm sitting there and thinking, "Yep, some of that I can relate to, some of it, of course, I can't." But a lot of it was just like, wow, like there's a lot going in there. So tell me, in preparation for this, because you've got all these amazing minds for this session, I mean, how did that even go? How did it work out? Because the way you all did the session, I mean, I know you were each taking your chances, but also um you each had a moment where you were sharing, and then one person would come in. It was very well done, is what I'm getting at.
That's just what happens when you have a topic like that. That again, there's not a lot of um, outlet. There's not a lot of place to get that out in the air. And
Mhm.
what I didn't want it to be was like a bashing session for people who dance. So that was one of the things I made very clear. But um, to be honest, I was inspired to do this session by Alicia Atkinson because she was a part of our November workshop for 911 Wonder Women. And one of the comments she made when she was talking about her career. Her whole presentation was about her career, and she said, "I took a minute. I thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so I stopped and I did that. And I realized I did not want to be a stay-at-home mom." And I feel like that is something that people are like, "Oh, how dare ma'am.
Right. How dare
You
you?
don't want to stay at home with your kids." And that's just I was just really happy that she said that and so matter of fact, and it wasn't like anything to feel guilty about. It was just part of her story. And that thought, I wanted to put that out there because at the end of the day, it is your choice. It's your choice, and you shouldn't be shamed either way. And I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of that shame goes to, well, how long did you take maternity leave? Oh, Leah, you went back to work 10 days after having a baby. How dare you? And it's just like, no, 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 no. Every situation's different, right? And I just wanted to have an honest conversation about that. And our preparation was just we made a list of all the things that made us mad, like Family Guy. You know what really grinds my gears?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And we just made a, we made an outline, and I was like, this is where I'm going to start, and we'll just go from there. And it was very organic. It just kind of flowed. So yeah, I'm glad I got to do that. When you told me I had 2 sessions, I was like, oh, that's a lot of me coming at people. So I wanted to use my sponsorship platform to um, feature other women, and I wanted to bring people who weren't familiar with what 911 Wonder Woman does
Mhm.
to them, because we do a lot of that. We do a lot of these panel discussions where we just have it out, and we allow people to think and bring certain topics. So I wanted to bring that to Dare to Be Great, so that people would be aware that this kind of stuff is happening.
Yeah, so one of the parts that I really enjoyed, was towards the end, and this goes along with what you were saying, kind of how, there are folks out there that will do some sort of, shaming, and like Joyce says here, I know there was a ton of guilt when missed, the holidays and events, so with that, there are other people out there probably who would say, something the same, how dare you miss this time, or how dare you, whatever. But Alicia, I'm pretty sure, was the one who said that there was a person who was basically shaming her about traveling, for work or whichever, and the person said something to the effect of what does your husband think about of all your traveling? And she goes, well, my wife is very supportive. And I of course nobody could hear me or see me, but I'm laughing, and I thought, oh man, to that person who now has egg on their face, you may ingest a satchel of Richards. Yes. So
And that, that, yeah, that's great. I'm really glad that she shared that. I wanted to
Mhm.
share what they were comfortable with. And Harriet, I've known Harriet for the entirety of my career, like 17 years, and everything she said was just so spot on. It was
Yeah.
just so spot on. And to take on that responsibility so late in life, I can't even imagine. And that's the thing I wanted to say. Like, every mom journey is different. Everybody's different. I went through a lot to have kids in the first place. So it's just, I mean, the message is just to be kind and ask people if they need assistance sometimes.
Right. Yes. Now, we're gonna move over to the keynote speaker. Keynote speaker today, Samantha Hawkins out of Cobb County 911, Georgia. Her session was "It's Not Easy Being Super." And man, well, before we get into this, I do want to say really quick, because there's a section here that I skipped that was throughout the day, and not because they there wasn't anything, there or whatever. They were all powerful sessions. I just can't speak on them because I wasn't there. I wasn't in each of those sessions. So I do want to give a shout out to all of the gold sponsors as well as silver sponsors for the sessions that I was in. Very well done. The IAD had a session um, on training, and if and all of this. You just have to go back and see it because it was a really good one, and I had a lot of fun with the speaker. We were talking about how if there's anything for training, like with gaming, so there's a game that, because we were talking about he was talking about simulation and everything, and how people can learn dispatch and everything through simulation. So I had thrown the question out there about gaming, how he felt about gaming, and if gaming could help with that, because there's a game out there that's been out there since 2017, and it's called 901 Operator. And so we had a fun discussion about that. So make sure to go back for that one. And then the silver sponsorship silver session that I was in with Natalie Hunt, Nourish for Optimal Health, even in high stress, another really good one. So make sure to check those out. I know all of the other ones were really good as well. I just can't speak on them, which is why we're going to the keynote speaker now. So again, hers was "It's Not Easy Being Super," and I'll just read the summary really quick because it's just a couple lines here, but it says, "No, It's in all caps. No, it's not easy to be super all of the time in our profession. Although the work of an emergency telecommunicator seems to call us to be exactly that most of the time. What were your thoughts on this keynote?
Oh my God. He, like, she takes speaking from the heart and defines it. She's the
Hmm.
of speaking from the heart. She's very, very talented. Not everyone can communicate like that. I know I can't. Um, so she's very, very talented. And I feel like the more she's out there and doing her thing, she gets more and more amazing. But she's her thoughts and her observations are so on point for a lot of people. And the one thing I really wanted to say about Samantha and why her I really, really trust her intuition and perspective. We were at Cobb County a
Hmm.
couple months ago doing a training, and she took us to walk the floor and say hello to everybody. She not only knew everybody, but she had something wonderful to say about them that was very, very like personal and unique. So, like, for example, hey, this is John. John is one of the best CTOs that we've had. He's been doing this for 15 years, and this is what he's accomplished. And like every single person, like when she first started doing that, I was like, oh, she must know this person really well. Oh, she must know that person really well. It was every single person. She has taken the time to get to know them. She has something wonderful to say about them. She made them smile. It just was very impressive. And I think, nowadays people are in and out and people aren't at jobs, as long as they used to be. And it just that takes time and effort on her part that she doesn't have to do
Hmm.
her job. And it was just very telling about her. It was just very special.
Yeah, agreed. They it just walking through there, like you were saying, I couldn't believe it either. It was the same thing, only because there are people out there that would give you a tour like that and say, this is the section where we do this, this is the section that we do this, and then just walk up and down, and then that be it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that was cool. But no, we were out there for a little while, and just going from person to person for each section and everything. And yeah, like you said, there was something personal about every single person, and I loved that. And that is how she did this presentation as well. It
Mhm.
was, I don't know about you, but it almost felt like, even though she was talking to everyone that was in the audience, it almost felt like we're talking directly to you.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Yeah,
Love
but
that.
people felt that, especially if you looked at the comments, everyone was like, "Yeah, that's so true." And it's just, yeah, she's special. Very
Yes, definitely. And it was a good segue, also into Trey, who is with the Florida Highway Patrol, and his was shaping culture from the front line. So they went together very well in this sense, because so this was also his first time. His very first time presenting, and when we were in the green room, I was like, "Are you ready, man?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "This
He's
is
very
my first."
keeled. He's
Yeah.
very even keeled.
Yes. Yeah, he's like, "This is my first time presenting this." I was like, "Dude, don't worry." I said, "You've got this." And so because of like internet issues and other stuff, we had started late on some other ones, and we were continuing on. I had told him before we went live, I was like, "Dude, just do your thing. You don't have to rush. If you finish early, that's great. If you go over a little bit, that's great. It's fine. You've got this. You'll be fine." And he went through, did an excellent job, and sure enough, just talking about shaping that culture from the front line, because we can't you can't depend on supervisors or the higher ups or whatever all the time, to do something. It starts from within, and it can start from the front line, and do it there. And that's where I feel like sometimes it matters the most, because we have each other, and that's how that ends up working. So I really enjoyed that one. I got to share something with him as well when he was at the end, and was just kind of talking about some of the things that we did when I was in dispatch, and how when it first started out, nobody wanted to do it, but we gave it a chance, and it actually was a lot of fun. So it was really good.
Yeah, I feel he's one of those people that talks the talk and walks the walk. And I've seen him through living in Florida and putting myself out there and having these events where you're like, I hope someone shows up. Doing these things for the nonprofit where like, organizing all this work into it and being like, I hope someone shows up. He always shows up. He always supports me and the mission and all these other missions going on around him. You heard him say, he's like, oh, I volunteer for the Museum Relief Foundation. I volunteer for 911 Wonder Women. I'm on the APCO committee. I'm on the Young Professionals committee. Like, he does all those things, but they're
Mhm.
not feathers in his hat. Like, he works at improving himself and improving others. He's so passionate about it, and you could see that through his presentation. He was talking about the books that he's read, and like, to me, that just shows somebody who's a life learner and who's trying to be better, but also he's sharing that with other people, and he shared the things that inspired him, which I think is really cool too, because it shows that no, I didn't come out of the womb and was like, hey, I want to make the world a better place. He got that spark from somewhere, right? And I
Right.
think that's all we're all have either experienced that or are looking for that, or you kind of know when you see it, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was very, very good, and, that again, another great segue into, Dr. Andre Jones, and, he's out of Doha, out of
Out of
Qatar.
Doha.
Yeah, Doha. Yeah, no, and so the whole thing was, it was excellent because you get to see how things work in other places,
Mhm.
and also how, he's working to build everything that's there as well. And so this one was called "Are You an Effective Team?" And it was going through different examples, and towards the end had a picture of the center, and what? Like, it was, you know what? I have it because he hooked me up with it, because I had to we were having some technical difficulties, and we're going into the wrap up here too, of this broadcast, but I just want to show this really quick because this was pretty amazing. And the only other center that I've seen that looks somewhat like this is out of Fairfax. And so let me share this here really quick, and then we'll go into the wrap up of this. But check this out here.
I have my glasses.
I know you're on your phone, so it
Oh
probably
my
is probably
god.
small, but look at that.
Oh. There's a 911 center in Houston that reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can't remember which, because Texas has the cities and the districts and the cogs and the.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong one, so I'm not going to say anything. I'll just say it's Houston.
Well done. Joy says New Orleans, the New Orleans ones is pretty snazzy as well. Yes, yeah, I've seen that one too. And but this one, like with these big old screens and everything else, how it's going on, and everyone is just working. It was crazy. So when he was saying, because I was running this on my end, and he goes, next slide, and when I clicked on it, my eyes about popped out of my head. I was like, no way. I was like, this is really where you're at. I was like, this is nuts. But either way, again, another excellent, excellent session, and there was a lot to it, and it's just.
Yes, I had never heard him speak before, so that was
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, I need to get into more of his sessions.
Yes, that one was good, and they were all excellent. And I just want to give a shout out really quick to Joe Serio of a 360-degree dispatcher. He was supposed to be doing some sessions today and tomorrow, but he got sick. So, dude, take care. And for everyone who had gone to that session, I had left a message there saying what was going on, and that what he and I are going to end up doing is we're going to record those sessions, and the videos that are on there with my message are going to end up being replaced. So um, I'll end up sending something out to all of the attendees, just letting you all know that that is going to be on there and available when we get it up there. But today was an excellent first official day of Dare to Be Great for Era of the Headset, and thank you for everything.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, we will see you tomorrow in the morning, 8 in the morning, bright and early, and woo, it's going to be awesome. Have a good one, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.